Aloha and welcome to another episode of Tiki Room Talk, a Disney podcast. My name is Angela and I'm joined by my sister Christina.
We will be your master of ceremonies on this enchanted journey into weekly top 5 topics and helpful tips when experiencing all things Disney.
You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, YouTube, or on Libsyn. Just search Tiki Room Talk. If you like listening to us, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Tiki Room Talk. We'd love to hear your feedback or answer any questions you may have, so be sure to reach out to us.
This week's topic, we will be discussing the magic of song. Aww. We both decided we're probably not getting through this episode without singing at least once, so sorry guys.
I think it should be, we have to sing a snippet of our favorite song. It's the top 5 Disney movie soundtracks. And our siestas keep getting shorter and shorter, so let's wake up the Glee Club,
put on the show, and get
tiki 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 talking. Welcome back to another episode of Tiki Room Talk. There is no way I'm going to get through this topic without singing. As you can already tell, I've already been singing.
I'm really excited about this one because there is a ridiculous amount of amazing Disney music out there.
It's very true. And in many ways, the music of a movie has helped shape it into the masterpiece that it has become. So true.
It's true.
Very
and
true.
So many of these soundtracks, for me, bring us back to our childhood, having grown up listening to them on every car ride. There's also a few that are newer and blew us away as adults.
It's true. It's true. We had such a hard time picking just 5 soundtracks for this list because, let's face it, when has a Disney movie not had good music in it?
It was super duper tough.
It was.
And we had a really hard time with this. And we've actually told our list to a couple people and gotten a couple smacks in the face.
No one likes us.
No, they always think we're crazy. And we think you're going to be surprised with some of our choices here today.
And we've also discussed that this was very difficult, and we will probably do a part 2 at some point.
Yeah, look out for a part 2.
So if your soundtrack isn't on here, don't hate us.
It could be coming up.
Because we only picked 5 amazing soundtracks that hopefully you know and love as much as we do, and 2 honorable mentions. Teen, why don't you start us off with number 5?
No.
Oh, this is good for you to start us off with this one.
And I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
Oh, Teen?
I think number 5 might be Pocahontas.
What?
Pocahontas from the 1995 movie, composed by my personal favorite, Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz. The main songs feature vocals by Judy Kuhn, Mel Gibson, Linda Hunt, Jim Cummings, David Ogden Sears, and Bobby Page.
The track list includes many reprises.
Many reprises in this
But
one.
including popular tracks like Just Around the River Bend, Listen With Your Heart, and Colors of the Wind, and Savages.
Good one. And
Good one.
Why do you love this soundtrack?
I'm gonna tell you, Teen.
Tell me.
I like this movie and the soundtrack because I think, and I like it more as I get older. I think when I was younger, I didn't appreciate it as much as I did. I think that's kind of the same as Hunchback for me. Like these,
Also a good soundtrack.
these 2 are like 2 that I kind of combine together because they're very adult themes for a kid movie. And I think they were made around the same time too.
Yeah, this was 95, and I want to say Hunchback was maybe like 96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a heavy movie and it's a heavy soundtrack, but I really like all of the songs. I think they're all unique. I'm really glad they didn't let Mel Gibson sing a lot. I think that was a really good choice.
He
by
wasn't
them.
that, like, there's been worse.
He wasn't Russell Crowe status in Les Mis, but
It's true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was in 7th grade in my history class, and Christina also had the same history teacher, so I don't know if you also did this, but we watched Pocahontas, and we had to write down the lyrics of all the songs and remember them, and it was because we were learning about
The time period.
The time period,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's how, for me, that's why I like this movie, I think, even more, is because I'm able to learn history out of it, because I'm really bad with history. And for me, like, this movie...
It makes it fun,
And yeah,
right?
it's a fun way to learn history.
So
Thank you, Disney.
Thank you for
making
bringing
me
the joy
smarter.
of history to me. I'm going to start by saying Pocahontas was my favorite movie as a kid.
Didn't I like, rip off the head of your Pocahontas Barbie?
No, that was Snow White.
Ah.
Actually, there were multiple Barbies that lost heads to Angela. Let's be honest. She was like a guillotine. But
Sorry.
this was this was my favorite movie as a child, and I still love it to this day. It's like a top 5 for me, for sure. I know there's a lot of issues with how it's riddled with a lot of historical inaccuracies, but I think if you can put that aside, there's something that's so special about this movie, and the music is definitely something that helps make that.
Historical inaccuracies.
Do you really want me to get into it?
No, I'm just kidding. I know
Okay.
there are some, but now I sound stupid because I just said I learned a lot from this movie.
You can cut it out. No,
I'm an idiot.
No, but you learn a lot.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
just
there are inaccuracies.
There's inaccuracies with the actual
because they want to. You have to make it more childlike,
right? Because they were making it for families.
Yes.
First off, shout out, love Alan Menken. If I ever met him, I'd have to thank him for literally like writing my childhood.
That's true.
I mean, you could, like, Enchanted, Tangled, he did Newsies, Hunchback, Hercules, Pocahontas, Little Mermaid, Aladdin. Mulan. Like, and...
Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
And just so many wonderful songs written by him.
They struck gold when they found Alan Menken.
And even his Broadway career is illustrious, like Little Shop of Horrors, he did Christmas Carol. Yep. He's just amazing. He's awesome. Amazing. And this is one of his best pieces of work. I think the score is gorgeous. It has beautiful flute pieces, and it also has native drums in a lot of the songs, which is different from other Disney movies. There's the song If I Never Knew You, which was originally cut from the movie but was in the credits, and now when you look at newer versions of the movie, they have actually animated it and put it in. It's a gorgeous song.
I didn't know that.
It's so good.
Wow.
It's such a good song. And I think even the less, like, epic show-stopping songs, like even the ones like Mine, or, like, Virginia Company, they're catchy, they're upbeat, but they're also set to history. And so they're telling you a historical setting through the use of music, which is, like, moving the plot along. It's not just like, oh, we're going to stand here and we're going to sing a song. It's actually...
There's a purpose.
Yeah, it's molding. Yeah. And I think that's something that's so special about this. Also, if you ever get the chance to listen to the soundtrack, listen to one of the last tracks. Is called Farewell Instrumental Piece in parentheses. It's the score that accompanies the last 4 minutes of the film, and it is amazing. Yeah. It starts off with the horns, and then If I Never Knew You beat comes in, but then they mix it with Colors of the Wind.
Am I gonna cry?
It just
I'm probably gonna cry.
Because for one of the things, and we're not here to talk about the movie so much as the music, but one of the things I loved about this movie, even as a kid, was that it's bittersweet at the end because she doesn't end up with him. Like, she knows what she needs to do, and it's not, I need to, be a princess that's in love with this guy. Right. And the music at the end of it just fits so well with that, because you're like, even just listening, you can hear like the internal battle, like, am I making the right decision? And then it just ends with the chorus doing the Colors of the Wind, and it's so good. And what's your favorite song?
My favorite song is the Virginia Company song.
I would never guess you picked that one.
I don't know why I picked that one. I really do love Colors of the Wind, and I love Just Around the River Bend. I think Just Around the River Bend probably more than Colors of the Wind, but I just love that song because I had to learn it for school, so I know like all the words, and now I know what happened in 1607.
It's a good song. Yeah, and I like when
I like that one.
Moves into steady as a beating drum. Yeah. You know, like you have that transition, and it's really cool.
And yours? What is yours?
I love Just Around the River Bend. Yeah. I like that it's not a ballad. It's a fast-paced song. It's upbeat. Yeah. And then at the end, it tapers off into this higher range. Yeah. And it symbolizes that changes are coming, right? I feel like it fits it so well. Yeah. I love that song. Anytime it comes on, I just gotta belt it out. All right, number 4, Ange, what do we have?
Oh, this was one that I love. Yeah. It is Princess and the Frog. The Princess and the Frog was made in 2009. It contains 10 original songs and 7 score pieces. All but one song was composed and arranged and conducted by Randy Newman. Never Knew I Needed was written and performed by Ne-Yo. Did not know he wrote music.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I like
Good for him.
Almost There and Down in New Orleans were both nominated for Best Original Song at the 82nd Grammy Awards, but lost to The Weary Kind from the film Crazy Heart. Don't know that.
I remember when that movie came out, but I have not seen it.
Some of the tracks include Never Knew I Needed by Ne-Yo, Down in New Orleans, Almost There, Friends on the Other Side, When We're Human, Dig a Little Deeper. Mm-hmm. Some good ones.
That's a big one.
Some good ones. Teen, why do you like this track?
I like the soundtrack for a couple reasons. First off, Randy Newman bringing us 1920s New Orleans jazz. I would have never guessed that.
Yeah,
so thank you, Randy
Newman fan, personally.
Like, if you had said to me they're doing a 1920s New Orleans movie and they got Randy Newman to do the music, I would have been like, you're crazy.
Not Randy.
But gosh darn it, he does such a good job. And it's just such fun Disney music. And it's fun because it's so different. So, like, most Disney music, it's this elegant, it's a full orchestra, it's beauty, and not that this isn't beautiful, but this is like so much more stripped down. It's got banjos, tambourines, it's got this gorgeous horn section. So it's so different than what, you're used to with Disney music. I think one of the things that's interesting about it is that Tiana doesn't really have like a ballad in this movie.
Yeah.
It's mostly upbeat music. The only ballad is really the one that Ray sings to Evangeline.
Yeah.
That's like the love ballad of the movie, and it's not even sung between the two main characters.
Right.
So it's kind of cool, it's a little bit different than what you're used to.
Well, I feel like the love story is kind of like not even the main story in this, but it kind of is.
It isn't it like...
It isn't. Yeah.
It's really about strong characters.
Yeah.
There's a strong female character.
I just love, I completely agree with what you're saying, that it's just fun. Like, when I'm looking for a fun soundtrack to listen to, this one is always a go-to for me, because it always makes me just want to dance and, like, just want to belt out and sing, and I really enjoy this soundtrack.
Yeah, even the one that Ne-Yo wrote, Never Knew I Needed, it's a catchy song.
And you know what? When I first saw this movie, I feel like I don't remember liking it as much. And then I went back, like, years later, and I was like, what was I thinking? Like, this movie was so good. I, like, regret not liking it in the beginning, because now I love it. And the music is what makes it. The plot, I feel like you could take. Honestly, I'll just take the music. I'll just take the music.
No, the plot's good, too. And what's super special about this movie, too, is that it's hand-drawn animation, which you don't really get anymore.
Yeah.
And even in the age, by 2009, all their movies were being computer animated. They decided to do this hand-drawn movie, and I thought that was really cool, really special.
Them to do
I hope they do it again. I think it'd be really cool. But even the villain song in it, Friends from the Other Side, that's a good song. Yeah. There's this one line at the end where they say, you got what you wanted, but you lost what you had. Yeah. It's creepy. I like it. Yeah. I mean, as far as villain songs go, I'd put it up there with, like, Be Prepared or my personal favorite, Hellfire.
Hellfire's a deep one from Hunchback.
I like Hellfire.
I'm going to piggyback off of what you said about it being such a good villain song, and I like that Disney knows that it's such a good villain song, because they incorporate it in their Halloween show on the castle, and they've incorporated it in fireworks shows, and it is good. It's a good villain song. Probably one of my favorites, like you said. I think it's up there for me.
It's a good song. Yeah. And like Dig a Little Deeper is good. Yeah. Good song.
My favorite song, I believe it is also your favorite song, is Down in New Orleans.
Gosh darn it, I love that song.
I love that song. It is such a good open in the movie. It is such a good song. It's just,
It's got such good beats. And it's funny, when you watch it in time with the movie, like, things are matched to those beats. Oh, yeah. Where it's like, it's just boom, boom, boom. And I just love it.
And I love the reprise, too, that they do in the finale. Mm-hmm. I like the finale reprise that Tiana sings.
It's a good way to start the movie and end the movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's such a good song. Yeah. It's too short. It's only like 2 minutes. It needs
to
be longer.
It needs to be longer.
At least 3 minutes longer.
But thank you, Randy Newman.
Yeah, thank you, Randy Newman. And it's funny, too, because when you listen to the score, you're like, this is Randy Newman music. Because it sounds like Toy Story.
Toy Story. Yeah.
I'm going to have Ange introduce number 3 for us because she's a big fan.
It's Coco. Yay!
Yeah.
It was created by Pixar Studios in 2017. And the concept of Coco is inspired by the Day of the Dead, a Mexican holiday, Dia de los Muertos. The film was composed by Michael Giacchino, who worked on other Pixar features.
Like The Incredibles.
Yes. This was the 15th highest grossing animated film ever, and the 11th highest grossing film for 2017. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It also won 2 Academy Awards, one for Best Original Song, which was Remembered Me. I love this movie so much, in case you can't tell.
So much.
Some of the songs from this include Remember Me, Everyone Loves Juanita, Un Poco Loco, The World Is Mi Familia, and Proud Corazon. Teen?
Okay, so
Why do you
I
like
want to start by saying if you have not seen Coco, I want you to stop streaming right now and go watch it.
Go put on your Disney Plus account.
Because it is an amazing movie.
Oh my god.
We're stupid. We didn't see it in theaters.
Yeah.
I don't know
what we were doing.
Busy. And I think they even re-released it because it was so popular and we still didn't see it. And when we saw it on video, I was kicking myself for weeks that I didn't go see this on a big screen because the colors, it's beautiful. And it's such a good movie. I could rave about the movie, but we're not here to talk about the movie. We're here to talk about the music. And the music is so good. First off, it was written by the Lopez Andersons, who also wrote Frozen and a lot of Broadway hits like Book of Mormon and Avenue Q.
They wrote those?
They did.
That's so funny.
So,
So
they know
different.
like their way around a song, right? Because they wrote Frozen. They were Frozen too. So the music is so good in this movie. And I guess you probably weren't expecting a Pixar movie to be on a list of top 5 soundtracks.
No.
But it is so good. The actor who plays Miguel is just adorable in every way.
He's so great.
Oh my god. And his singing, he's such a good singer.
Yeah.
It's really fluid. It fits the music really well. And it's another soundtrack that's like an untraditional Disney vibe.
Yeah.
It has those gorgeous acoustic guitar solos. It's got the brass instruments that are in like every song. Because it's got a Mexican feel.
Yeah.
It sounds like music you would hear Dia de los Muertos. I think La Llorona is a really good song.
Yeah.
And it's actually the only song in the movie sung by a female.
Yeah.
And I think the actress, she's just got this beautiful deep voice.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so full and it just fits so well. And why do you love this soundtrack?
This soundtrack, I don't know what happened when I watched this movie, but so many feelings. I don't know why I love this movie, and the soundtrack is just what makes it. My favorite song before was Un Poco Loco. I loved that song when I first heard it, and I was like singing it all the time. But I was listening to it one day on Spotify at work, and I can listen to music at work. I wasn't just...
She works hard, I promise.
I wasn't just sitting around listening to music. And Proud Corazon came on, the last song of the movie, and I remember watching it. And the ending is like really just beautiful and emotional, and I just remember crying at the end of the movie, and then the song came on when I was at work, and I got so emotional, and I couldn't explain it, and that song for me is just my favorite. First of all, I love singing it whenever it comes on, because it starts off slow, and then it gets happy, and just all the feelings that you have when you're watching the movie, I get them all back whenever I listen to that song, and it just puts me in such a good mood, and it makes me feel so good, and I absolutely love that song. And Christina's right. You wouldn't expect Pixar to be on here because Pixar doesn't do music.
Musicals, yeah.
But for me, this is and I've said this before, but this is probably my favorite Pixar movie, and I think partially it's because of the fact that the music is in it. I think the music really makes the movie, along with the colors and characters, and it's such a good movie.
My favorite song, I really like Remember Me, but I actually like the version that's sung to Baby Coco towards the end of the film.
Aww.
It's slower, and it's just a acoustic guitar and lyrics. It's so simple. It's so good.
Yep.
I think that's definitely hands down my favorite.
I love when they bring out the mariachi band in Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
And they sing "Remember Me," and
it's such a
love
good
so
song.
much.
Such a good song.
Number 2, Teen. This is a good one for you. Let us know what it is.
And do you know who put the Glad in Gladiator?
Hercules.
It's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be here all week.
All right, Hercules, the 1997 movie. Music was written by, of course, Alan Menken, with lyrics by David Zappel, orchestrated by Daniel Trube and Michael Strabin, with vocals performed by Lilias White, LaShawn's, Roz Ryan, Roger Bart, Danny DeVito, and Susan Egan, among others. The album includes a single version of Go the Distance by Michael Bolton. Michael Bolton. Tortuga. Which is sung during the credits. It has popular songs like The Gospel Truth, Go the Distance, Zero to Hero, I Won't Say I'm in Love, and of course at the end, the epic A Star is Born.
I feel like I should have made that my favorite.
It's a good one. Gonna sing from the mountain top. A star is born. Anyway. And why do you like Hercules?
I love Hercules, one, because for me, it has a little special place in my heart because this was the first movie I ever saw in theaters when I was a young one.
A youngin'.
The music in this is just so powerful. I love when the choir sings. That's probably like those songs are probably my favorite. Those women just like sing so well together, and I love when they tell the story in the beginning, and I just really enjoy it. And Go the Distance is just an amazing, uplifting song. If you're ever like in a tough place, I feel like put that song on and you're like, I can do anything. And we used to have Disney Classic CDs.
Yeah.
I had the first 3 versions, and I believe this one was on the first one. I think it was the purple album. It had a Mickey head, and it was purple. And I Won't Say I'm in Love was on it, and I used to sing that all the time in the car. That was like my favorite car song. I think it was like track 4, and I always loved singing that one.
I still sing that song
so
all
do
the
I.
time.
Oh yeah, and I don't even know. I like used to sing all the parts too. I was like, I'm gonna be Meg, and then I'm also gonna be the one lady who's like a statue, and she's holding her head. Like, oh yeah, I was hitting all those, all those notes.
Which, by the way, those statues, the ones when they pan to them and they're at the busts, it's supposed to be the bust from the Haunted Mansion.
What?
I don't know if you've ever looked at it, but they're in the same position and like everything.
Oh my god, I have to
a
watch
little
it.
Easter egg
oh
for
my
you.
god, I have to watch it now.
Also, a
When
little
this is
Easter
over.
egg in Hercules. They have Scar
I knew that
at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the kind of cape that he's like wearing.
Yeah. When he's getting his
Picture painted
on the vase, on every vase. I think every song on this soundtrack is just gold. There is no throwaway songs.
Nope, I completely
it's
agree.
all just epicness. And I'm going to nerd out on you guys for a moment because I love Greek mythology and ancient Greek history. So this movie just is everything to me. And the use of the Greek chorus as a gospel chorus, I think, was such a good idea because it brought the ancient Greek storytelling traditions, which you would do through a Greek chorus. You know, you'd have like Aeschylus and Euripides. You'd always have these Greek choruses. It took that and it brought it to a modern audience by using a gospel choir vibe instead. And I think that was such a good idea. You also see that in Little Shop of Horrors because they also have a Greek chorus.
Yeah.
Also another Alan Menken musical.
I never put 2 and 2 together. That's funny.
I mean, other than like Go the Distance and I Won't Say I'm in Love, all the music is super duper upbeat and it moves the story along. A lot of it, especially like, you know, the Gospel Truth and stuff, it's all just telling backstory and it's just moving the story along and it's using music as a vehicle to show time passing, and it's just such a good way to keep everybody
Engaged.
Yeah. I just think it was just so well done. Gosh, so good.
And for my favorite, I picked Zero to Hero, and I think it's because it tells like a fun story of him like rising to become who he was supposed to be. It is like a montage, but like also a really fun song. So I enjoy.
Yeah,
I enjoy
that's a
that
good
one
song,
a lot.
and it's funny because it changes beats halfway through.
Yeah,
and you can get behind it so quickly.
Yep.
You're like, oh, this is a totally new song. But yeah, I'm into it.
I'm still jamming.
I think my favorite song is Go the Distance. I know that's going to sound cheesy, but I love the singer, Roger Bart.
I love Roger Bart.
And I love the pace of the song, but most importantly, I love the beautiful violin solos that are in the music breaks between choruses. Gosh darn, it is so good.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of those ones I will put on repeat again and again. Such a good song.
Yeah, I agree.
And do you want to tell us what number 1 is?
Would a spoonful of sugar help you have a jolly holiday?
That sounds pretty supercalifragilisticexpialidocious to me.
It's Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins was made in 1964. This movie was adapted into a Broadway musical as well as a sequel, Mary Poppins Returns, which came out in 2018. Music and lyrics written by the iconic Disney duo Richard M. Sherman and Robert B. Sherman. This won 2 Academy Awards for Best Original Score and Best Original Song, which was Chim Chimmery. I was really surprised that was the song that won.
I am too.
All the songs in that movie, that one, I was surprised. This also won 2 Grammys. Walt Disney Records reissued the soundtrack in 1997, including a 16-minute rack of unreleased songs and demo versions. It gets crazier. For the 40th anniversary in 2004, they released a 28-track version. And in 2014, for the 50th anniversary, they released a 3-CD edition as part of the Walt Disney Records Legacy Collection series, including demos and lost tracks. That's a lot.
That's 3 CDs
That's
worth.
3 CDs. Yeah. That's crazy that they had all of that backed up. That's just a lot. That's a lot. Track lists include popular hits like A Spoonful of Sugar, Jolly Holiday, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Feed the Birds, Step in Time, and Let's Go Fly a Kite. Teen, why Mary Poppins? Do tell.
Okay.
Do tell. Because I
don't think there's any other soundtrack that could ever be number 1. And there's amazing soundtracks out there.
Sure.
But this soundtrack has just stood the test of time so much. I think no matter when you were raised or where you come from, I think anyone can hum at least one tune from this movie. Mm-hmm. I think that's just how iconic it is. And you could tell by the track list that this was a movie that was just jam-packed beginning to end with music.
Yeah. That's what I like. It's good. A lot of Disney movies have a lot of music in the beginning, and then they kind of...
And then it'll peter off, a little bit towards the end. But Mary Poppins is just music beginning through music to end. And I mean, you can't beat Julie Andrews
2
and
words.
Dick Van Dyke.
Two words for you. Julie
Andrews. Yeah, so you could never... And not that, Mary Poppins Returns wasn't good either. Also had some really good music.
Very good. And I like Emily Blunt a lot, but she ain't Julie.
Yeah. Even the shorter songs in this movie, they help tell the story. Like The Life I Lead, it helps shape all the characters, it helps move the plot forward, and just through song and it just makes you smile, man.
It does.
It's so good.
It is. It's a really great soundtrack, and if you want a fun lesson about this soundtrack and the whole movie and the making of it in general, the movie Saving Mr. Banks kind of tells the story of how Mary Poppins came from the book to the big screen, mm-hmm. and what went into making that. And it's a really, really, really great Disney movie, and honestly, it might be one of my top Disney movies of all time. I really, really love that movie. And it goes through how they didn't want music in it originally. Well, at least P.L. Travers didn't want music in it originally, but Walt Disney did, and the Sherman Brothers were writing the music, and kind of how they came up with some of the songs, and mm-hmm. where they came up with some of the songs. It's a really, really, really great movie.
Yeah, they go through Spoonful of Sugar. And how, normally you would think makes the medicine go down, the notes should go down to match going down. But they were like, how kooky would it be if instead of going down, it goes up? So it makes the medicine go down. And so you're like, you go up, Yeah. It's fun little things like that.
Yeah, it's a really awesome movie. And plus, Julie Andrews is just an angel.
You're talking to a big Julie Andrews fan over here with Ange.
I am very biased, and I love Julie Andrews so much. So anything she does is going to be wonderful to me. For me, and this might be a surprise, mm-hmm. my favorite song is Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Is it?
It really is. I think we used to have that song on a cassette tape, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Disney Classics cassettes.
Disney Classic cassettes. It was also on one of my Disney CDs once we moved over to the CDs. And it always just makes me smile, and it makes me want to dance, and it makes me laugh, and Everything about it is just so much fun that for me, that's probably my favorite song because it just, I don't know, it reminds me of childhood and it makes me just have a good time.
For me, my favorite song is Let's Go Fly a Kite. And that's another one that it was on one of our Disney sing-along tapes, VHS tapes, and we used to listen to it all the time. And so it brings me back to my childhood and makes me bring back all kinds of childhood memories. Like, I can't hear that song and not just be like, oh so warm and fuzzy inside. Yeah. So I love that song. I think it's a perfect ending to the movie.
I agree.
I think it's just such a cute
He mends
song.
the kite.
Mm-hmm. It's just, so good.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful soundtrack. It's a beautiful movie. It's a long movie.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised that it was ambitious to make kids want to sit through like an over 2-hour movie like that. Yeah.
But it is worth it, and the music is wonderful.
I think it's music, like I said, that's just gonna continue to live on and be popular through, the test of time.
I agree. I completely agree. We are moving on to our honorable mentions. I love this one honorable mention, I have to say. Mm-hmm. And it is The Muppets.
Well, okay, me and Ange, big Muppets fans. We grew up watching Muppets, and when this movie came out in 2011, it was such a brilliant idea of how to bring the Muppets back into the spotlight again. Yep. The soundtrack has 5 original songs. It has 4 re-recordings and remasterings of popular Muppet songs, and it also has 2 cover versions of existing songs, and as well as 2 standalone songs and 15 dialogue tracks. It's a hefty soundtrack.
It's a hefty soundtrack.
The song Man or Muppet won an Academy Award for Best Original Song, and the soundtrack was also nominated for Best Compilation Soundtrack for Visual Media at the 55th Grammy Awards. Some of the tracks include Life's a Happy Song, Pictures in My Head. It has Man or Muppet. It has Rainbow Connection, and it has Manana at the end. It's a good soundtrack. Very, very good.
It also has Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard and We Built This City. Those are the 2 standalone songs. Mm-hmm. Which, such good ones.
And as far as covers go, they cover Smells Like Teen Spirit. They also cover Forget You by CeeLo Green.
With the chickens.
With
Gonzo's chickens. Yeah. It's so good. It's so good.
It's really funny. And why do you love it so much?
Well, I just love the Muppets. So anything the Muppets do is going to be awesome. But this was such a good, like you said, it was such a good creative way to bring the Muppets back together again. Mm-hmm. And the casting was great. Jason Segel and Amy Adams. Love Amy Adams. They were so good, and the new character Walter, he was really great, and he had the whistling song, the whistling Caruso. Mm-hmm. It was just so creative, and the original songs were just so good, and they were so Muppet. Like, they were so true to the Muppet.
Yeah, well, and so Muppet movies have always been known for having
cameos.
Well, that too, and iconic original song pieces, like Rainbow Connection. So it was really refreshing that the soundtrack did that, but then they also mixed it with like covers and popular songs, which no other Muppet movie has done. Right. Even the one that came after it, Muppets Most Wanted, didn't do that either. Yeah. So,
which I actually like that soundtrack too.
Also
not
very
as good as this one.
Not as good, but also very good.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite song?
It's tough because I love Rainbow Connection. That's a favorite song for me. But Life's a Happy Song that they sing in the beginning is probably my favorite. It takes you just like through their whole routine, and it really just gives you a feel for the main characters, the 3 main characters, and then there's cameos in it, and it's such a classic Muppet song, and there's comedy. So it's so funny, it's so good. It's my favorite song for sure.
Yeah, that's a good one. I love that. I do love Life's a Happy Song, but my heart's gonna always be with Rainbow Connection.
Rainbow Connection,
always gonna be Rainbow Connection. And this Rainbow Connection was special because it had all of the Muppets in it, not just Kermit.
Yeah,
and it was
emotional. It was sweet.
It's so that they bring them all out and they're singing it, and it's just so good.
I know, love it. It is. It's a great movie. Make sure you watch it.
I know. Our next honorable mention, also one you probably weren't expecting to hear, Ange.
Miracles happen once in a while when you believe. In case you didn't know, that's The Princess Diaries. And in case you didn't know, Julie Andrews.
Once again, Julie Andrews.
This film was made in 2001. The album contains songs sung by well-known charting artists at the time, as well as artists that Disney signed and wanted to promote. The track list has, oh gosh, so many early 2000s people. It's painful.
Yeah.
Some you probably would never have even heard of. Some you probably would. So we've got Aaron Carter sings a song. Backstreet Boys, which they sing probably the most beautiful song ever. What Makes You Different Makes You Beautiful, and it's like impossible to find, but it's so great. Mandy Moore sings on this, as well as Hanson.
Mm-hmm.
They might know them.
Baby Mac.
And 18s, which is a
18s.
throwback. I loved 18s. I may still listen to some of their music.
This is a soundtrack of just like early 2000s goodies.
Yeah.
Like just your Disney Channel stars mixed with some 2000s chart toppers. Brings you back.
It brings you back. It's good.
Stupid
Stupid Cupid, Mandy Moore.
Stupid
Mandy
Cupid.
Moore. And fun fact, in case you didn't know, Mandy Moore is the voice of Rapunzel in Tangled. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
kept there in their back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame that Julie did not sing on this album. But
Well, she had lost her voice by then, though.
I know. She had an angelic voice. It's a shame she couldn't sing.
She had a surgery. I'm not even sure what year that destroyed her vocal cords, and she can sing no longer, which is unfortunate. So she did not sing in this movie.
She did not. She did sing a little, like a talk kind of sing in Princess Diaries too. It was called Crown and Glory. Her and Raven. Thank you, Julie and Raven, for making that movie as wonderful as it was. My favorite song on this album, it's between Backstreet Boys, What Makes You Different Makes You Beautiful, and Miracles Happen When You Believe by Myra.
For me, it's What Makes You Different Makes You Beautiful. That's a good song. Backstreet Boys goodness.
Coming in clutch.
Yeah, classic Backstreet Boys,
Yeah.
which I think is on their Black and Blue album.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, for some reason, it's like super
so hard to find. I don't know why.
And a lot of times when you do pull up the soundtrack, if you were to buy it or pull it up on Spotify, it's not there for some reason. But it's definitely in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, it was there. Maybe you have to pull up Black and Blue to hear it.
You know what's crazy? I was listening to a Cinderella Story soundtrack, and like none of those songs were the original, because I have the original CD, and like none of them were the same.
It's gotta be like a copyright thing.
I don't know. It's so weird, because I have the CD and they don't sound anything like that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, yeah, they changed the words. Oh, it's crazy.
Also a good soundtrack, by the way.
Also a good soundtrack. But yeah, Princess Diaries.
Princess Diaries.
Good one.
Mm-hmm.
Nostalgic. So, to end our episode, we hope that this was entertaining for you all, and we know there are many awesome soundtracks that we did not mention. We would love to hear your feedback, or any that you would like to hear be featured on our next soundtrack list, and any that you think would be your top 5 soundtrack list.
Yeah, we'd love to hear comments. Leave us a comment on social media. Give us your thoughts. Give us your opinions.
Yes, and thank you guys for listening.
And we'll see you real soon.